Hey guys, John from TricityTraveling.com. Today I continue my trip report from Boise to Atlanta, this leg from Dallas to Atlanta. I will be departing later from gate A37. Remember that? I didn't. I thought I had about 3 hours to do some looking around Dallas-Fort Worth, so one of the things I decided to go do was visit the club at DFW. The club at DFW is a non-affiliated airport club. I have access via my credit card, and credit card provides priority pass access to the club at DFW. I arrived at C37 and I'm headed over to the D gates, the D concourse, where the airline clubs are located. The D concourse is the brightest and shiniest of the three I visited, A, C, and now D. Lots of high-end shopping, very open, kind of an open concept for the terminal. It's very pleasing as a visitor, and I made it to the club. The club is broken up into three different distinct parts, one with food and bar. Apologize for the blurry and my finger in the corner. This is my first trip report with the RX0 Mark II, and I'm still working out the bugs. Decent food selections. The only gluten-free item I was able to grab was an apple and a beverage. Stay hydrated, everyone. There is a quiet area, some chairs kind of partitioned off from the rest of the concourse. It was full, so I ended up at what I would call the business center that overlooks the terminal. Lots of shiny metal stuff in the D concourse. Walking back up to the Skylink, take the train back to the C concourse, catch my flight to Atlanta. The club was okay. Nothing gluten-free really for me to eat there, but that actually isn't a big surprise. Didn't really expect there to be much gluten-free there, but onward we go. Did you catch my mistake? I'm headed back to the C concourse. Avianca in from Colombia, most likely. I didn't check, but I'm assuming that's from Colombia in Star Alliance. Taxiways over the freeway. American Airlines TWA livery, one of the specials that they've got. And I arrived back at the C gates, where I proceeded to have lunch, hang out, ended up sitting down at C37, thinking I was departing from there. They called Dulles. Where am I departing from? Oh, that's right, A37. I realized this mistake just about 2 o'clock with a 2:22 departure. Dallas is a large airport. Ended up jumping on the Skylink, and luckily enough for me, my plane was still there when I arrived, about 10 after 2, and they were just boarding Group 6, which happened to be my group, which turned into a long and kind of tedious boarding process. So thankfully for that, I had no issues making my flight. Lucked out on that. This is the main cabin extra seat. I am seated in 8A. Has decent legroom, but Whether it's a benefit of my single-serving friend next door, or if the seats were actually narrow, it felt quite cramped. My single-serving friend was a large human being with very sharp elbows. Kind of made the flight uncomfortable. Thankfully, it was less than 2 hours. One additional development related to my channel that I'm going to do is I'm going to post the full takeoff and landings for the trip reports separately from now on. Passing Love Field, Southwest Airlines hub. And there were several other landmarks that I was able to identify from the time code of the camera, as well as Google Maps, of course. All the snacks were either crackers or cookies. They didn't have any nuts or anything that was gluten-free. Ended up with ginger ale, and American Airlines is also a bring-your-own-device airline, primarily, at least at this point. This aircraft didn't have any seatback screens in economy. Not a fan of the bring-your-own-device. I would much rather have a seatback screen. Plenty of options for live TV as well as movies, so you're probably not going to get bored. I didn't actually check to see if there were power plugs in the seat because it was difficult to move around, and by the time the flight was over, I had completely forgotten about it. So I believe if you are interested, if this has power ports, Seat Guru would probably be a good source of information there. Blocking my single-serving friend, and back to the landmarks. This is under a 2-hour flight, and we began our descent into Atlanta. High pressure is dominating the weather right now, and it's putting a cap on all of the potential weather thunderstorms. It had a nice flyby of Hartsfield. As I said, stay tuned in the coming weeks for the takeoff and landing videos. I'll be posting them in their entirety. And with that, welcome to Atlanta. That concludes the second ever flight on American Airlines for me. This day in general with American was just okay. If you watched the previous trip report, I had a first class seat and limited service, which was disappointing. This flight, 1 hour, 37 minutes, takeoff to landing. I will be doing reviews of the W Hotel in Buckhead, Atlanta. I'll also be doing a video review of the Renaissance Hotel, or the Rennie as I like to call it. That is at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Stay tuned for both of those in the coming weeks. In the meantime, here's a couple of videos for you to check out. As always, if you have comments, please post them below. Hit the reminder bell and you'll be notified of new content. Subscriptions are always welcome. I'm wishing you and all of yours happy travels.